Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today we are going to be doing a vellum overlay card, but if you do not have coordinating stamps that have like images that fill in the stamps, then I'm going to show you another way to do it. So I am going to be using this Lawn Fawn vellum. This is 36-pound vellum. It is, so that means it's a little bit heavier weight. It is very sturdy. It means you can heat emboss on it. It means that you can run it through with embossing folders. It means that you can do score lines like this here. Now, I am making a top folding card out of vellum. You can definitely make a side folding card if that's what you would like, but I think with this vellum technique, top folding works really well. Now, I don't usually make top folding cards at all, but for today I am. Now, I have another top folding card that is exactly the same size. So at the moment, these are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Now, I want the look of having the vellum overlay be bigger than my inside card, but to help me line everything up and get everything perfect, I find it's easier to keep them the exact same size to begin with. Now, I am going to use my favorite stamping platform, and I have my inside piece here. So usually you have sort of like the color on the inside, and then you have the outline on the outside. But I don't have stamps that sort of fill in like that. So that's okay because we'll make do. Of course we make do. So I was thinking of a couple here, but I'm going to go with this gorgeous feather. I love this stamp set from Visible Image. This is an older one because I've had it for a fair while and I've used this feather many times. But I'm going to use, the stamp set's called Forever in Your Heart. And of course I will have it linked down below in case you would like to go and check it out. It is a gorgeous size feather. Now at this point I want there to be just sort of the color, because usually what would happen is that you would have just the color, just the inside images, just filling in images on the inside. But as I said, we don't have that. So I really just want the inside color. So what I'm going to do is stamp this in some VersaMark embossing ink, and I'm going to use some clear embossing powder, or you can use white, it doesn't matter because obviously the paper is white, and I am just going to heat that from behind and the front so that it melts it, and it's kind of going to disappear once it melts a little bit. But this is going to give us the beautiful walls for doing a coloured in image without sort of that outline there, which we want to kind of be invisible. We want it to fade away a little bit. Now, it will come to when, of course, we add colour, but we do want it to sort of fade in there. We don't want that outline on the inside piece to be very visible. Now, I'm going to take that away, and then I line up my vellum piece on exactly the same spot here. Behind it, this is a scrapbook.com sticky mat that I am trialing. Well, I've been trialing it for 6 months or so. I quite like it. It cleans up really well, which is something I really love. If I can just wipe it with a damp cloth, when I get black ink and things on it, it cleans off really well, and it's lasted a really long time. So I'm liking it so far. Now on the front here, I've stamped the feather image in the same VersaMark ink. Then I'm actually taking the little hearts and bubbles and things, and I'm going to stamp these all around the front too, just to add in a little bit more interest to the front of the card, because we are going to keep things relatively simple. But seeing as that stamp is included in the same stamp set, I absolutely love it, and so I will include it. I'm using some gold embossing powder. This one is from Ranger. It is the super fine embossing powders, which I like most. I buy these because, as I've said in previous videos, they just get those delicate images, and more often the words. When you're trying to heat emboss words, I find sometimes regular embossing powder makes it go blurry once you heat set it. So when I get the super fine, I lose that problem, which is great. Now, this is beautiful and shiny gold. I absolutely love it. I have some blue raspberry, powder blue, and ocean mist blue inks. This is just a range of blue inks. It doesn't really matter what inks you use as long as they are water reactive, because I'm essentially going to use them as watercolors. So if you want to use watercolors, go for gold. If you want to use watercolor pencils, then go for gold. If you want to use alcohol markers, then perhaps go for gold, but just be careful that it's not going to bleed through to the next layer. But if you have cardstock that is going to work well and doesn't bleed, then go for gold. So it doesn't matter how you color these. Now, I sort of went in lightly to begin with. I do have to bear in mind that I didn't use watercolor paper. This is just my regular 110 pound. I use the Frenchville brand from Spotlight here in New Zealand. It is very easy to get a hold of here, much easier. I used to use the Nina Solar White 110 pound and the 80 pound. However, that was really hard for me to source here in New Zealand and became really expensive, just honestly far too expensive. And so I switched. A friend of mine, Nicole, recommended this paper from Spotlight here, and she is in Australia and can also get the same there, and it just is beautiful. I would compare it very highly to the Nina Solar White to me, I think, with alcohol markers, ink blending, all those things, stamping, it feels the same. Now, I have taken the Hello die here. I'm not sure of the exact name of this. I think it's Big Hello or Hello die or something. I will, of course, link it down below. There are two ways that you can do this technique. Number one, you can, as I've just shown, you can add some, leave it in where you die cut it, and then turn it over and put some low tack tape, like some mint tape, on the back to hold it all in place. Or if you've already taken all of the letters out, to get a gorgeous ombre look, you can just stick them on the sticky side of some low tack tape. Now I have the 1 inch, and the 4 inch of the mint tape. So the 1 inch I put behind these letters here to keep them all in place to get a nice little ombre letter. But the other one there I put on the 4 inch, and I've got the sticky side up. And I am able to ink blend beautifully on there to get a really nice ombre effect too. So I'll show you that the brush doesn't get caught. The foam here that I use, these are of course my favorite inking brushes as well. And they are like foam rather than brushes. They're not bristles, if that makes sense. And I can get a beautiful, beautiful ombre blend on both of these just using one color, because we don't like to complicate things. One color is plenty to keep in check. So two different ways of doing an ombre, depending on whether they're all sort of stuck in the piece that you die cut from, which is on the right there, or you can just do, if they've all fallen out already, then never fear, pop them onto some mint tape, and then you can do the inking from there. Now I may as well use these ones, so I'm going to pop these all out, and you can see that they have a beautiful ombre as well, and I'm going to stack these up with 3 letters high, just to give them a little bit of something to pop off the page, because there is a little bit going on. They're going to look beautiful. Now if you want to space them out, I recommend using the shadow that you die cut them out of, the negative. However, I actually wanted them closer together than what that would give me, because otherwise it covered too much of the feather. So I'm just going to place them myself. They have the double-sided adhesive on the back, so that is going to be nice and strong and stick beautifully. So now we have our vellum overlay done, and we also have our inside card piece. Now this is the time that you can trim these down if you want to. And just for me, this makes it a whole lot easier when I'm stamping. The original stamping part is so much easier if you have them the exact same size. And then I can just put because of the grid lines on the sticky sheet, I just put it in exactly the same place. Now I'm going to put some really strong adhesive. This is scrapbook.com double-sided tape. This is strong, and I don't use this for die cutting because it's quite thick. I mean, it's not actually thick, but it's thick in comparison to when you might use some for die cutting. Now this is the trick here. I line up my inside stamped image with my vellum layer, so it's inside, and then I just start at the top, just press down a little bit, and then I can press down all the way by removing all of that release paper, and we've got a beautiful, even, nicely matched card. So you can see that the blue is going to fill in the vellum, and then from the inside we can write all our messages on the inside and it's still completely hidden, but we have that vellum overlay without having the stamps to sort of color in the inside image. Now I highly recommend getting a mono sand eraser if you get little ink splotches and things everywhere. These are available. I have found them at Simon Says Stamp. I will link them down below. If you accidentally, put your finger in a little bit of ink and smudge it on your white paper, then this is going to gently erase that very, very well. I highly recommend, for the price of what these are, getting one to pop them in your stash. Now my card stands up beautifully even with the vellum overlay. That's the beauty of having this lawn fawn vellum that is a little bit heavier. But that is our finished card for today. So I hope you enjoyed this beautiful, simple version of the Vellum overlay. And I will have some cards at the end of this video that you might like to check out as well, in case you are interested. But please subscribe to my channel. We are very nearly at 1,000 crafting videos. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.